guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and I am the crazy face behind Fitdrchef. So I'm sure you can tell from the title that I am officially what we call a paperless student. I am a student that I'm a student that doesn't use paper. I'm a student that stays away from paper. I'm a student that cares for the environment so much that they've decided to use no paper. I do, as much as I believe in climate change and the environment, I wish that was my real reason for me turning into a paperless student, but it's not. My real reason for me becoming a paperless student is because it is 10 times easier. Honestly, I couldn't advocate it. I couldn't advocate for it any more than I'm probably going to do in the next 6 minutes. It is absolutely amazing. So to start off with, what does it mean being a paperless student? So being a paperless student means I try my best not to use paper. And what does that involve? It involves It involves this bad boy. I officially now do everything on my iPad. And this iPad is the 9.7 inch iPad, the 2018 version. It's amazing, honestly. It's amazing that everything that I need and everything that I do is on here. So I'm going to give you a few reasons why I feel being paperless is the best way forward. The main reason why I would advocate for becoming a paperless student is because it's just so much easier. Being a medical student, we have got so many different subjects that we need to learn. And the thing about these subjects is that 9 times out of 10, they're all interlinked. So it's not just me having to go out, let's say I was revising in the library, it's not just me having to go out with this one book, it's me having to take 3 books. So for instance, let's say, I don't know, let's say I was studying, so this is my clinical medicine book. So let's just say for instance I was studying, I was studying pulmonology, I was studying lung diseases, right? I'd need this book to, let's say it was pneumonia. Let's say I'd need this book to tell me the cause of pneumonia, to tell me the prognosis, to tell me the diagnosis. That's what I'd need this book for. But because I did anatomy probably two years ago, I don't quite remember every bit of anatomy for the lung. I would then need this book. This is one of my anatomy books, where I'd probably need it just to refresh my memory on what the anatomy of the lung is. But because I need to be able to diagnose these diseases based on radiographic images sometimes, I'd then also need this book, which is my radiology book. So I'm sure you can imagine leaving your house with all these 3 books, going to, let's say, the library, going to a cafe. Sometimes I revise in like Starbucks or Costa Coffee. This is just way too much, and it's way too heavy, and it's just tiresome. The great thing about being a paperless student is I can literally have all these books in here, meaning I can go to the library or I can go to a cafe and not have to carry all these books. And the great thing about most of my books anyway is that 9 times out of 10 they come with like a barcode, like this little code, and if you scratch this code and you go on student console, you can have all these books you can have the online version of these books here. So it's just so much easier, basically. It's just so much easier and I prefer it. Also, another reason why I advocate for being a paperless student is because 9 times out of 10 I lose papers. So I can quickly write something. I'll write something, let's say I'm interning, the doctor says something. I'll write something and I'll probably lose that paper, or sometimes I make my notes and I scrumple the paper, or something spills on the paper, or the paper just doesn't look pretty because I haven't taken care of it, and then it annoys me, and then I have to do it again, and blah blah blah. So it's just so much easier now that I can have everything here and not have to worry about that. Being a paperless student, I can literally do all my notes on my iPad. My app of choice is Notability. This is what it looks like. Okay, and for me, Notability is fantastic. Another good app people talk about is Good Notes, but for me, I went with Notability because I literally have all my notes in this iPad, and it saves me, for instance, writing different notes in like my different books, like what I've done before. And look what I was saying about the mess. I don't know what I spilt here, but I don't have to worry about that when I'm paperless. So I have so many different books where I write different notes, because this will fill up and then I have to get another book. Whereas with my iPad, well, as long as you've got good memory, you've got endless amount of paper all in one place and you don't have to worry about it. So I'm gonna just give you a mini tutorial on how Notability works and how you can use it for you. So for example, the great thing about Notability is that I can organize it depending on my subject. So if you see here, you can write down the subjects that you want. So I've got here patho, internal, gynae, just to organize it. And then you can put each note that you do in whichever folder you want to put it in. So for example, I don't know, this is a very, very pretty note. Very, very pretty notes that I did on COPD. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, honestly. Okay, so the great thing about Notability is I can do it like I'm doing it on paper, but I can also add images. You can switch between text and handwriting. So if you just go into this icon over here, you can literally start writing. I'm just gonna say hi. You guys should be impressed with my skills because I did that backwards. And then you can change like the thickness of your pen. So like so. So if you're really creative, you could even not use the text. You could just design it all yourself. You can change the colors. There's a wide range of colors, which is also another very good thing, because what I found it was, before I was a paperless student, I would have to take like loads of felt tips, and I'd have to take different colored pens. But now it's so much easier because I've got so many colors here, and it's just so much easier, honestly. And then another good thing about doing doing my notes with Notability is the fact that I can write and then add an image. So, you know, let's say I'm talking about something, I can use images to assist my learning. Also, another fantastic thing about Notability is the fact that you can actually record. You can record your notes. So, for instance, I don't know which one it was. Okay, so for instance, these are notes which I took in a lecture. That's why they're very messy. But I was able to record the lecture. So if you just press play. So yeah, so you can record your lectures, and then when you've got time, you come back home, you do your notes in a fashionable manner, but at least you've got everything that the lecturer said, because sometimes these notes can be the thing about taking pretty notes is that sometimes it can be very time consuming. So you can't make them, well, me personally, I can't make them that pretty in the lecture. So I tend to record the lectures, take a few notes in the lecture, then come back home, revisit the topic, and just make it look so much better. So just to summarize, the reason why I'd say go paperless is because, one, it is a lot easier in terms of transporting or commuting with books. Number two, because it's better for storage. You won't, unless you lose your iPad, you won't have to be worrying about where different papers are, where different things are. Everything is just here. Number three is just aesthetically better. I just feel like my handwriting just looks so much better here. Number four, you can incorporate different things in, let's say, in one text. No, or you can add different elements in your notes Better yet, in terms of when I'm doing my notes, I can take pictures from Google, I can take pictures from my books, whereas when I'm doing notes by hand, I can't do that. Also, a good thing about this is if you make a mistake, you can, with the click of a button or with the touch of a button, you can undo that mistake. Whereas I'm one of those people, when I made mistakes on paper, I'd have to start all over again because I hate seeing a scribble on a paper. So I would advocate for it. I absolutely love it. Like I've said again, the app that I use is Notability, but there's so many other good apps that you can use. There's even some free apps. Oh yeah, Notability costs £9.99. So in total, becoming a paperless student has cost me, let's say £500. Because the iPad was, because this one is, I've got quite a high memory in this, so I'm not sure how much this iPad was, but I'm pretty sure it was less than 400, it was within the range of £400. Then I've got this pencil, which was £90, and then I paid £10 for Notability. So it is quite pricey, but I think it's worth the price. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of video, and it's actually kind of giving you an insight to how I revise. Sometimes I do use different methods of revision, so I might actually make a YouTube video on that, on different methods of revision. But yeah, that's basically the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope to see you in my next ones. If there's any videos you'd like to see me make in particular, please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.